What's up, everybody? This is Trading Gas Money, aka Hendrix, aka Gains Day Trades. And in this video, I want to talk about cryptocurrencies. A lot of these cryptocurrencies, one of the main sites you can go to if you want to learn more about cryptocurrencies is to go to coinmarketcap.com. This is pretty much where I get all of the latest cryptocurrencies and try to see which ones are overtaking or entering the top 100 coins. So right now we're in a dynamic where Ethereum is looking like it's going to be, it's what the narrative or what the world, I won't say the world, but what a lot of hedge funds and a lot of Ethereum maxis, or just even the president of the United States, as far as with the Genius Bill Act, it looks like a lot of things are going to be built on Ethereum. And I've been in the crypto space for over 10 years now, and I've seen it evolve several times into different themes and narratives. And right now, at one point earlier in the year, I think the main narrative was a lot of artificial intelligence coins. So we had coins like FET that kind of pumped a lot, I would say, if I can remember. It was over $1 at one point, yeah. Pumped to $3. We had Tau, which was a bit Tensor, which was another artificial intelligence coin. And this one came from the lows of the 40s, pumped all the way to about 705 at the end of 2024. So one of the themes that we're seeing is that Ethereum is more or less like the iOS. Like when you have an iPhone, the best way I can explain it is that there's iOS and then there's apps built on the phone, right? You got Instagram, WhatsApp. Those are all built on Apple's iOS system, which allows those applications to run on that system. Android has its own system, so iOS applications cannot run on Android. They are coded very differently than the way it's coded on a Apple device. Moving along, Ethereum has an ecosystem, or I would say an economy that most people don't understand when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And when I say an economy, meaning that you have NFTs built on Ethereum, you have Web3, some Web3 technologies are built on Ethereum. You have many applications, like, for example, like Chainlink is built on Ethereum. Different applications that are built on Ethereum that create this type of ecosystem or economy, I would say, that Ethereum has. Bitcoin doesn't have that type of economy where there's not like NFTs being traded on it or bitmaps being traded on it, like digital real estate being traded on it. And I think what a lot of the institutional investors are finding is that anything that deals with like what's the perfect wording, where you can measure activity on something, it usually brings eyes to it. For example, we can measure the amount of users on Facebook. We can see if Facebook is growing users. We can see if Instagram is growing users, Snapchat is growing users, Uber is growing users. And based on that growth in users, we can put a valuation on it. So we have Facebook, which has pretty much brought the entire population into the digital space where they have a platform to express themselves or to connect with their family members. We're measuring Facebook's valuation based on new user growth, based on, earnings from ads and things of that nature. So that's the thing that Ethereum has. It has a network effect. Unlike Bitcoin, where it did have a network effect where it was being used to buy certain things, but now the network is so big that the transactions on Bitcoin are very slow. So if you was to go swipe your card with Visa is way faster than Bitcoin. Bitcoin could never onboard that many users. When I say that many users, we're saying when you go even out the country, Visa is on a lot of these bank cards and all these things. They're the ones that are making money from those little transactions that you're always using, microtransactions. But they have speed and efficiency in order to do that. Bitcoin doesn't have that. Neither does Ethereum, which people who've been in the space know this. So it's kind of shocking to see Ethereum be the chosen one, which is why you have many of these competing layer ones trying to solve what I call the blockchain trilemma. This is a little bit deep into what I want to talk about in this video, but I'm just giving you like high level shit so you can understand like where we are today. So the world and institutions have chosen Ethereum to be the platform where they want to build the bridge from the crypto world into the TradeFi world. So TradeFi and DeFi connecting, right? Because in Ethereum, you can take out loans. It's almost like they're building the entire they've been building the entire banking system on Ethereum for like the last 5 years. And it's something that we call DeFi. And we'll look up some DeFi tokens here. Let's put DeFi, see if it populates. Categories, DeFi. So a lot of DeFi tokens, as you can see, which is decentralized finance. Chainlink is the plumbing system for that, right? We're connecting all of these chains and allowing them to be able to receive data in order for you to be able to have those transactions made, right? When you look at it from the institutional level, there's transactions that are showing different prices within the stock markets that different brokerages are using, such as Charles Schwab. You have Morgan Stanley, you have Fidelity, you have even smaller brokerages, Glendale Securities. You have all of these people who need data in order to be able to make these transactions. When you put a buy and sell order in quickly, these transactions are being made on a system. Now they're trying to upgrade those systems into bringing them on chain, on the blockchain, because now you can kind of view any transaction on the blockchain. So one of the key things to capitalize on a lot of these markets is to understand where we're going and the infrastructure that's being built around that, which is why I think over time Chainlink will eventually be over $100, because if we're going to onboard traditional finance, that's trillions of dollars in assets or trillions of dollars of money that flows that will need data in order to run on the blockchain, and that data is going to come from Chainlink. Hyperliquid is another interesting token. As far as it's one of the first apps that I've used that I was very impressed with that has come from the cryptocurrency space, because 99.9999999% of these shits are scams. Okay, Uniswap, very good protocol. It has been reliable. It hasn't failed yet. And then you have Aave, which is some of these lending type of protocols that I was talking about, where people can go and put up Ethereum or a certain cryptocurrency and they can go and get loans against them. They can borrow money. So these are a lot of the things that are happening in the space that many people really don't know about, particularly nurses or anybody who is not deep into the crypto space. But you can lend and borrow money and earn, annual per APY. I forgot what the fuck APY stands for, but is it annual percentage yield or something like that, where you can put up certain tokens to earn APY, right? You can put up Tether and earn 12.3.5% a year. So you put up 100 grand of that, you're earning 12,350% a year. And these yields are what institutions are really interested in, because you can earn more money than in the traditional banking system. But of course there's risk, especially in the cryptocurrency space. So moving along, decentralized finance is going to be one of the key themes going into the next wave of this. And wave is, we're eventually going to see a high, we're eventually going to see a low at some point, but DeFi is here to probably stay. And the person that's going to be one of the biggest leaders in this shit is going to be Chainlink for sure. 100% Chainlink should be probably a top 5 coin. If anything, it's superiorly undervalued. I'm not marketing this, telling you to buy it. I just want you to understand it. It's just key. Moving along, You have Aave, which is gonna be something big. You have Mantle. Oh shit, Mantle ran. It was like $1 just. Wow, when did this happen? It was just $1 the other day. And this is what I'm talking about, where I'm mentioning like these DeFi coins. Like July 7th, it was 56 cents. Now it's in a month, less than a month, it is doubled. And these DeFi protocols are what people are going for. They're trying to earn yield. They want to earn money on the money that they have. And Ethereum allows institutions to do that. I think Arbitrum is probably going to run big because it was a layer 2 that was pretty big. At one point when they were marketing layer 2s and thinking that was what was going to help, Ethereum prosper, which eventually that didn't. The gas fees are still incredibly high, which is why I know I'm saying a lot that maybe most people won't understand, but I've been in the space long enough, which is why I'm pleasantly confused as to why they decided Ethereum was the go-to, but maybe Ethereum is building and, I don't know. But we'll find out. Sometimes the market decides what it wants rather than what we decide what it wants. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just understanding that it doesn't matter what I think is right. It doesn't matter what I think is the best. It's what the market deems as the best. It's what the market deems as the coin of choice. There's plenty of coins better than Bitcoin, but it's what the market decides, not what I decide. The moment you decide is the moment you're fighting the market and you're trying to create a narrative that the money isn't flowing in that direction. Money is flowing in Ethereum. Money is flowing into DeFi. Money is flowing into real world assets. Tokenization. You should be following the money and not going against the money. Trading gas money, I'm out.